Thank you for joining us. Today we are presenting on mental health. My name is Rosario, and I am joined by
Kimberly
and Jose.
And we are the social work interns at Pacoima Charter Elementary.
Thank you again for joining. Before we really dive into the presentation, we want to take a moment and ask two questions. The first one being, what does mental health mean to you? And what were you taught and told about mental health? So right now you can take a quick second and just reflect on that on your own.
So what is mental health? Mental health includes our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. It affects the way we think, the way we feel, and the way we act. If our mental health also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others, and make choices. Some signs of mental health illness can be simple situations such as pulling away from usual people or activities that you engage in, having low or no energy, feeling helpless or hopeless, experiencing severe mood swings that cause problems in relationships, having persistent thoughts and memories you can't get out of your head, thinking of harming yourself or others, inability to perform daily tasks like taking care of your kids or getting to work or school. And I also have a quick question that it's for you to reflect. Do you know anybody in your family or in your just surroundings that has mental illnesses? And I'm only asking so because family members may suffer from a mental illness, and because we share the same genetics, we are predisposed or could be predisposed. Some other factors other than like the biological factors are life experiences such as trauma or abuse, and then like family history of mental health problems. Next slide.
So along with mental health illnesses, we always hear about a lot of stigmas, right? Is my child crazy? Or just the simple fact of therapy doesn't work, or, my kid is acting in this way because they want attention. And then there's also this conception of when social workers start working with one of your children, or they just come into your home, this idea of, is my child going to be taken away from the household? So in order for us to work towards destigmatization is we have to do our own research. We have to be very conscious about the words that we use, because that can then affect the person with the mental health illness in going out and receiving the services that they need. So I encourage us all to do the research that is needed.
So some facts about mental health is that it is estimated that 1 in 6 people experience a common mental health problem, such as anxiety, depression, personality disorders, or psychotic disorders. Also, about 10% of children aged 5 to 16 years old have been clinically diagnosed with one of the following mental health problems that I mentioned earlier. Also, some other facts about Pacoima Charter are that on average, a social work team provides counseling to about 300 students per year. These services are free of charge to Pacoima Charter students, and our services include coping mechanisms for a variety of issues that include self-esteem, social skills, grief and loss, divorce and separation, and other traumas. We help students and their families attain a higher quality of life. In the rare event that a student's needs exceed what we can support, we refer the families to mental health agencies around the community. Next slide.
When we look at mental health, we often look at this as a separate entity, but in reality, when looking at mental health, we can see the relationship it has on our bodies. Oftentimes, we don't recognize that some of the somatic or physical symptoms that we are experiencing are caused by a mental health condition. If we're experiencing poor mental health, it's often more recognizable to note the physical symptoms rather than the mental health ones. So with that, there are multiple associations between mental health and chronic physical conditions that significantly impact people's quality of life. For example, oftentimes we can be sitting down, working at our desk, and we experience symptoms as faster heart palpitations, shortness of breath, even headaches. And these are prime examples of what stress can cause. If we look over to our right, we have a infographic showing the physical symptoms we experience when under stress and other mental conditions as well as there's no health without mental health, and this was brought to us by the World Health Organization. So it's really important that we take time to reflect that there's an association between our physical entities and our mental entities. So what can we do to better our brain's health? You know, there are more than 9 out of 10 people say that brain health is important, but oftentimes they don't prioritize the need. Mental health is seen as the second most important factor in overall health. Roughly 90% of people feel that maintaining brain health is important, as it's linked to maintenance for independence, enjoying everyday life, and keeping memories. So a few things we can do to keep our brains healthy is to keep fit, learn more, manage our stress more, eating right, and being social. As I mentioned, it's often pushed to the back burner and we don't prioritize our mental health as much as we would like to. Without a healthy brain, we don't have enough blood circulation, which can impact our performance. A healthy brain is essential for living a long and full life. When our brain is healthy, you are better able to pay attention, solve problems, communicate, and much more.
And now I'm going to go a little over what the role of a social worker is. And I quote Mr. Moreno, "Our purpose is to ensure healthy attendance habits, provide group and individual counseling, link families to resources, and support the efforts of our school staff and ensure the social and emotional well-being of our students and families here at Pacoima. In addition, we host various parent workshops and classes, as well as work with our school parent committee. So for example, this would be something that we as social workers provide, different workshops that parents in the community are able to access within the first couple of weeks. We have also been part of classes and conducting class check-ins just to see how everyone is doing. We have lunch bunches that are provided for the students to have a time to socialize with other students, and as well just calling families if they need any resources, and we go ahead and link them to those.
So some of the benefits of counseling, the counseling process in many ways is an educational experience, and it's a long-term experience as well. The client not only learns more about him or herself, but also acquires these skills. Some of the skills that are acquired are improved in communication and interpersonal, greater self-acceptance and self-esteem, ability to change self-defeating behaviors and habits, better expression and management of emotions, including anger, relief of depression, anxiety, and other mental health conditions, increased confidence and decision-making skills, ability to manage stress, improve social skills, and improve conflict resolution abilities and problem-solving skills. So what we do here at Pacoima is offer these counseling services to our kiddos to ensure that they're able to navigate a difficult time such as the one we're currently experiencing. And as well as parents, we can refer them out to community organizations that do provide counseling services as well. And these are just some of the perks that you all will be receiving if you do indeed need services.
So parental involvement is one of the biggest predictors of student success. The School of Social Work team sees the importance of this. As a result, the team offers the following parent classes and parent workshops, this being one of them. We have done classes and workshops covering all sorts of topics from emergency preparedness. We collaborate with the American Red Cross, LAPD, and the Los Angeles Fire Department. We also help parents understand their children's emotions. We also hold single parent support groups, and we help parents connect with more community resources. In addition, we also provide guidance to Parent Leadership Action Committee, our school's parent leadership group. It's similar to PTO. Research also shows that when parents are involved in their children's education, the child is more likely to earn better grades, score higher on tests, pass their classes, attend school regularly, have better social skills, show improved behavior, and have a more positive outlook towards society in general and at school too.
So now we're going to take a moment for us to just check in with ourselves, right? We've been giving you a lot of information. So let's check your battery also. And this can look like, are you feeling great today? Are you feeling good? Are you just feeling okay or like meh? Or you're like really struggling to just make it through the day and feeling really empty? Yeah, so take a moment and just, see where your body and your mind are.
Piggybacking off of that, here we have a few more questions. I know we've been throwing a lot of information at you all, but we thought it'd be beneficial if you all took the time to reflect on some coping mechanisms that you all can think of that you use, and kind of reflecting on the community resources we have within the community and at school.
And now I'm going to go over school resources. So in-house, we have us, the social work team, that is Mr. Moreno, Miss Myra, and luckily 13 interns this year. We also have Mr. Magana, that is a school psychologist, Dr. Vasquez as a school doctor, Mr. Nuno, that focuses on behavioral discipline, grade level coordinators, Mrs. Veronica Rojas, the office manager, and Mrs. Elizabeth Hernandez, which is the attendance clerk. I also listed two community resources. I know these aren't all of them, but these focus specifically on mental health. El Centro de Amistad provides individual and group counseling, parent classes, and anger management classes. Hathaway Sycamore Child and Family Services. This is also a school-based resource, but they also do in-home counseling. So they also do outpatient mental health services. They have a grief and loss center for children, and wraparound and in-home counseling. And of course, if you need any other resources, you can use us social workers to try to link you to any other resource that you would need.
We also want to just leave you guys with some tips for self-care, especially right now during COVID-19. Some suggestions are exercising more, eating healthy, and sleeping. And I think this all goes back into the whole idea that our physical well-being also affects our mental well-being. So if we do all these three together, I think it'll really help us with whatever kind of stressors we're dealing with or whatever it may be. I find it to be very helpful for myself. There's another tip about learning and exploring. Maybe you can pick up a new book or explore and go hiking. Go on different hiking trails on the weekends if you can, of course. And then also structuring and putting a routine on your day. This also works for me. I like to have an agenda and just have everything down, so I don't feel like there's extra stress on me. There's also practicing mindfulness, like meditation or yoga. And then lastly, just talking with a friend or a family member, especially right now that we're all like secluded. It is essential that we talk to people so we're not even more confined and like we feel extra lonely. So definitely reach out to those around you. I think it'll be very beneficial.